Hi there, this is Ben with HCRIS, and today we're going to talk about our skilled nursing facility financial data. This data all comes from the Healthcare Cost Report Information System provided by CMS. Our modifications include aggregating subscripted lines, cost coding where relevant, worksheets A and C, and then giving raw variables meaningful names. Datasets. The first one is just our complete HCRIS dataset. It has over 800 variables. Think about 6 or 7 worksheets out of the total. And then our smaller, more compact dataset is our financial health dataset, which also has ratio calculations and outlier identification. HCRIS is used to determine how much it costs to provide care to both Medicare and Medicaid patients. Compare what was actually paid to the expected cost of payment. This is how CMS determines its settlement with skilled nursing facilities. Uses a step-down methodology to find costs. The source data for all costs is derived from the general ledger. Classifies expenses as either allowable or not allowable, and then costs are allocated into groupings to find a cost-to-charge ratio. Here you can see some of the cost report worksheets that we offer, starting with utilization, expense classification, the cost-to-charge ratio, reimbursement, and G is the balance sheet and revenue and expenses. Much like inpatient hospital HCRIS data, there are 2 separate forms. The first one starting at 1996, and then a second one starting in 2010. There's some differences between them, although there is a lot of overlap. As I mentioned, there's quite a few variables in the overall HCRIS dataset. And of course, this isn't everything that's included. So as I mentioned, there's over 800 plus variables. Time range and fiscal year may vary. What I mean by that is some providers' fiscal year starts in July. Others start, in the annual year. So starts in January, ends in December. Just something to keep in mind. So not all providers will be on the same exact time frames. And variables are going to include balance, revenue, expenses, etc. Now we come to the data table itself. One thing to note right off the top is that due to size constraints, this data set is truly massive. This data table is only for the last 5 years. So you're going to want to download it if you want to go beyond that. And here, for an example, when I was talking about the different fiscal years, this one starts in July, ends in June. And here, these are some expense variables right here: admin salary, laundry salary, etc. And here you have measure ID, the measure names, and then the description and where it was derived from, which worksheet and which lines. Moving to the download section, really the only thing to note is just that these data sets are rather large. They're in 10-year blocks, going all the way back to about 1994, so the start of 1995. Finally, we come to the financial health data set. As I mentioned, this has key variables from the larger HCRIS data set, and then a variety of common ratio calculations and outliers determined by provider size. And that means within each annual release, each measures are compared among providers of similar sizes. And below you can see an example of the documentation. Looking at the data table, only thing that's really important to note is, again, Z-score, so outlier identification, fairly standard. And that's about it. Please let us know if you have any questions, and thank you for watching.